Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing? You were listening to that Fitz podcast for what is it? Tuesday, February 13th, 2018. How you doing? How's everybody doing? Doing good. Yep. Doing good. I was just let's get right into it here. I was watching some NFL stuff here, NFL sports broadcasting stuff, like you do, and I was watching it, and there was a post that kind of annoyed me a little bit here. It was the top 8 most valuable quarterbacks in the NFL, and it was by the Herd, Colin Cowherd, and I like Colin Cowherd. He was actually part of Portland sports broadcasting back in the day, but I think this is he's got a list here that I really really dislike, because it seems to tap into the most hacky, just hacky, clickbaity kind of crap here. To some degree, I think he's right, but for the most part, I think it's just goofball stuff here. But this is his criteria of most needed to be a valuable QB thing here. I'm not trying to make him out to be a villain here. It's just a take. But I'm just curious to see how honest he is being about it, or if he's just being clickbaity and just I want to get views type of thing. So, but yeah, let's just listen to a little bit of his thing here. So yeah, here we go.
The 4 things that generally get you paid are: what's your talent? Do you have some talent? What's your replaceability? If you leave, can we replace you? How many years do you have left? Are you in your prime? Does the company you work for think I can really build around this person? And the other thing is, do they just feel like physically and emotionally you are important to the organization? They like you as a fit to their organization. And I was talking about this. If you look at the NFL, and I said,
so basically his 4 general lists are talent level, replaceability, years left, how old are you, and importance to the organization. So those are his 4 criteria. So let's delve into it. Let's delve into Colin Cowherd's top 8.
If I was paying on those 4 criteria: talent, replaceability, years left, and importance to the organization, here are the 8 people. I think that, first of all, the person I would pay the highest is Aaron Rodgers. And it would be because Aaron Rodgers is simply, in a city that doesn't have free agent allure, he is an irreplaceable talent.
He just said Green Bay Packers don't have free agency allure. One of the most popular and most money-making organizations in the NFL, which is actually, the NFL is the biggest money-making franchise, sports franchise in America. So that pretty much means that in America they make the most money and they bring the most money, etc., etc., etc. And they're saying Green Bay Packers don't bring free agency allure, and they're the one of the most popular franchises still to this day. Okay, so already he's annoying me by saying that shit.
I think Russell Wilson's the second highest paid guy in the league. Now, again, you say, how is this possible? He's not the second best player. First of all, he's a top 5 to 6 quarterback, so he is good. Listen, they have a bad...
So, one other thing is, he said that Russell Wilson is top 5, top 6 quarterback in the league. All right.
O-line. That O-line would wreck anybody else in this league who couldn't avoid... He literally saves this franchise. They have an old, expensive defense and a bad offensive line.
He scored 32 of their 35 touchdowns this year. So 32 of the 35 touchdowns.
Okay, so I'm going to do my first little debating here. Is he thinks Russell Wilson's top 5, top 6. Okay, so so this is why I think Russell Wilson's in top 3, bare minimum, is because with all the points that you just mentioned, the bad O-line, and if anybody else was in it, they'd wreck all the QBs. So the point is why Russell Wilson's top 3, top 2 at least in the NFL is because of the fact, and because he scored 32 touchdowns out of the 35 touchdowns that the Seahawks scored this year, which has only happened a couple times. All right. Pretty amazing stat there. But the point is, when Russell Wilson had a good O-line and the most expensive O-line, or at least the top 3 O-line, if I remember right, when they won the Super Bowl and went to back-to-back Super Bowls and should have won, blah, blah, the whole thing, with Super Bowl 49 with the Patriots, is that he won a Super Bowl when he had a great O-line. And that was in his second year. When he's in his 6th year, he's scoring 32 of the 35, which is, 87.48 to the square root of pi, whatever, number, which is basically a pretty insane number. Russell Wilson can pass phenomenally. He can scramble phenomenally. He can stay in the pocket and pass phenomenally. And so that was my first little debate here, is why Russell Wilson should be in the top 3. He brings in the numbers, brings in a Super Bowl when he has a phenomenal O-line and doesn't bring in good numbers. And when he has a god-awful O-line, one of the worst in the NFL, if not the worst, he basically scores all their points in the entire season. So let's put that to bed here.
So, of course, his talent's there. His replaceability is invaluable in this league. Their offensive line is atrocious. If he didn't have those legs and athletic ability, they are a 4-win team. And I'll give you my other. I think Jimmy Garoppolo.
Talent. He forgot to mention talent. 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 So this is the biggest one right here. This is the biggest clickbaity diarrhea dog shit. California AA loving the fucking most popular team in the NFL bullshit. Just doing the headlines crap that I hate about media in general. And then sports media does the same thing, hence media. So Colin Kaepernick. There's a lot of Collins. Colin Cowherd is about to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is the 3rd most valuable quarterback in the NFL.
And I'll give you my other. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is wildly important. Why? Because the franchise, they have 6-year deals for the GM and coach. They've got to get the quarterback right. He brings in a wealth of knowledge from Belichick, best defensive mind in football.
He brings a wealth of knowledge from Belichick, best defensive mind in all of the NFL. A wealth of knowledge. He was with the Patriots for a year or 2? So he brings a wealth of knowledge. So basically that one rookie young guy is going to bring in so much of the wealth of the Patriots' success and mindset. Really? Okay. Whatever you say. That's what you could say about a lot of quarterbacks that did nothing in their league. Okay.
He now has the best offensive coach in football, arguably, Kyle Shanahan. Now, I like Andrew Luck more than Garoppolo as a talent. But how many years left? I don't know with that shoulder. I like Carson Wentz more than I like Garoppolo. But they just won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. He's clearly, to some degree, replaceable.
And that's another point. It was like he puts Carson Wentz at number 5, but yet he says he's so replaceable because Nick Foles, some random guy off the street basically can just win a Super Bowl. Nick Foles was perfect in the playoffs. I think he threw one interception, maybe, and that was during the Super Bowl, and that was because of the fact that the quarterback, if you all watched the Super Bowl with the Patriots and the Eagles, if you remember, the only interception that the Nick Foles threw that entire whole playoffs and Super Bowl series was in the Super Bowl was when the receiver caught the ball, fell down, and bopped the ball up to where the corner basically just handed it to him. So that was a receiver error, not Foles' error. But I digress. Hey, Ash, how you doing? Smash. Yeah, but so Nick Foles, ever since he replaced Carson Wentz in week 13, he's won almost every single game, and he won all the important games. And not only that, he wasn't being carried like Trent Dilford was in the Ravens in 2001, 3, 4, whatever it was. He didn't play dog shit, crappy numbers and minutes, and he didn't stink. He played phenomenal, especially against the Vikings in the NFC Championship game. And plus, he played phenomenal in the Super Bowl. 315 yards and a couple touchdowns and one interception, and that's kind of hacky kind of fluke interception. I mean, but to say that Carson Wentz is number 5 when he's so replaceable, that makes no sense. If he's so replaceable that another person, and Nick Foles is so replaceable that some guy off the street, there's so many contradictions with Colin Cowherd's little argument here to why Nick Foles is number 5 and why he shouldn't be number 2, 3, whatever it is. The fact that you have a Jimmy Garoppolo, who's number 3, who's won 7 games that last year, 2 with the Patriots and 5 with the Niners, and he's lost none of them. I definitely will not take that with a grain of. I'll take that with a grain of salt, but he won those games with the 49ers at the end of the year. And mind you, he played he didn't play many great teams. He played some great teams, yes. But what were his numbers? Were they phenomenal numbers? They were all right. They were good, decent. And this is the clickbaity, let's pander to a guy in the uniform of a famous team that I cannot stand. Jimmy Garoppolo is number 3 and Carson Wentz is number 5. Yet he's so replaceable. But yet he's on the top 8. It makes no sense.
Brady, Big Ben, Breeze. There are questions about what I'd pay him based on.
Okay, so Brady's number 6, Big Ben is number 7, and Drew Brees is number 8. He doesn't really organize as well.
How many years do I have left? But it's funny when you start talking about, what is somebody worth? If you gave me the 8 quarterbacks in this league and I had to pay him, I'll tell you, I love Andrew Luck. But his shoulder now? That's a big question mark.
So his number 1 quarterback in the NFL, just busted his collarbone, is recovering from it, is number 1, but yet he's incredibly confused about how his strength's going to hold up. And see, the only person that makes any sense in the top 5, Aaron Rodgers, proven badass, busted his throwing arm collarbone. Russell Wilson, phenomenal, been phenomenal. Jimmy Garoppolo, number 3, just started playing this year and off and on, and won 7 games out of 7. Phenomenal record, decent stats, but can you really trust a one season or one half of a season? Andrew Luck, been injured for the last 3 years. Phenomenal quarterback, but he's been injured all the time. And then Carson Wentz, easily the best quarterback this year, and even his stats are almost better than all the quarterbacks that finished all 16 of the games when he finished 12 full games and a couple of a little bit of the 13th game. Tom Brady is Tom Brady, blah blah. Ben Roethlisberger is Ben Roethlisberger. Drew Brees is Drew Brees. We already know those guys. But we're talking about what his Colin Cowherd's criteria for needed to be the most valuable QB is: talent, replaceability, years left, importance to the organization. So obviously, talent with Roethlisberger, Brady, Brees, Carson Wentz, Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, and Aaron Rodgers is there. I wouldn't put 7 games into Garoppolo because he's only played 7 games in his entire life. All these other guys have played many years and many seasons besides Carson Wentz. But mind you, Wentz played phenomenal this year before his leg injury. And then replaceability. Could you replace Could you replace Aaron Rodgers? Nope. Russell Wilson? Nope. Garoppolo? Yes, you could. Because you'd be in the same boat you would be for the most part. Andrew Luck? Yeah, replaceability. Carlos Wentz? Yes, you could replace him. Tom Brady? Nope. Ben Roethlisberger? Nope. And then Drew Brees? Nope. So besides Carlos Wentz, and then Jimmy Garoppolo, all those guys are very hard to replace. And so that's number 2. And then years left. Aaron Rodgers, 5 to 6 years left, probably about then. Russell Wilson, hopefully about 10 years left, 12 years left. Garoppolo has probably 10 years left. He's 27, I think, right? 10 years left, about 15 years, about. Andrew Luck, injury prone like a motherfucker. He's by far the most injury prone person on this top 8 list. So that's kind of a, you never know. Carlos Wentz, he has many years left. I think this is his second year in the NFL. Played phenomenal. So busted his knee. Tom Brady had his knee busted up, and he's a pocket passer guy. So I wouldn't put too much into that. So I think years left, he's going to be great. Obviously, Brady, number 6, Ben Roethlisberger, number 7, and Drew Brees, number 8. As far as years left, those are very, very low, especially with Brady, since he's 41. And I think Ben Roethlisberger is about 37, and Drew Brees is about 37, somewhere around there, late 30s. So yeah, basically Brady 6, Ben 7, 8 Brees. Years left is very low, so that scorecard is low. And then comes to the final one, is the importance to the organization. Aaron Rodgers, very important. Russell Wilson, very important. Garoppolo hasn't proven shit, so you can't put that. Andrew Luck, importance, yeah, yes, no, maybe so. Phenomenal quarterback, potential, blah, 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 and all that stuff like that, but very unhealthy. So importance to the organization is high, but he's hard to trust. Wentz is even lower because he's got Foles, so he's replaceable. And importance, which is kind of tied into replaceability. And then, of course, you got Brady, Brees, and Big Ben, which are very hard to replace because they're all Hall of Famers. Unfortunately, Big Ben is a part of that stupid category, even though he technically only won one Super Bowl because he got penalized by the refs in Super Bowl 40. But still. Brees, Ben, Brady, best quarterbacks in the last 20 years, besides Favre and Manning and all that stuff like that. Garoppolo and Wentz are easily the most replaceable, or the most that should be kicked off this list because they're all brand new and they haven't proven much. But Wentz should be there way before Garoppolo because he had a phenomenal year. Andrew Luck had phenomenal years in the past, but he's been injury prone, so I'll take him out. So Garoppolo, number 3, Andrew Luck, number 4, and Wentz, number 5, are out of this list as far as the criteria need to be the most valuable QB. So that leaves Andrew Luck, that leaves Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, Tom Brady, Big Ben, and Drew Brees. And I hate Big Ben. I hate Tom Brady. And, I'm fine with everybody else pretty much. Of course, I love Russell Wilson because he's part of my team that I like. But the thing is, when it comes to talent, Russell Wilson can scramble like no other. He's one of the best scrambling quarterbacks in NBA history. There you go. Yeah. Hockey history too. He's one of the best scramblers in NFL history. Way better than all the other the Big Bens and the Aaron Rodgers and Brady's and Breeses by far. Who's got a rocket of an arm? Aaron Rodgers and Breeze have a rocket of an arm. Who's the most accurate? I would say Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Who's harder to replace? As far as the team goes, definitely would be Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady. Because they're in the worst predicament. Russell Wilson's got a bad O-line, horrible O-line. So anybody who can't scramble, for 600 yards, 400 yards easily and, make plays like Russell Wilson does scrambling-wise and throwing-wise, they're going to be screwed. And so Aaron Rodgers, he speaks for himself, and Brady speaks for himself. Years left. Russell Wilson has that by far because he's the youngest and the most healthy. Brady's going to be gone in 3 years. Big Ben's going to be gone in 3 years. Drew Brees is probably going to be gone in 3 years. Aaron Rodgers might be gone in 6 years, maybe even 4 years. Russell Wilson, if all these guys are healthy, if all these guys are healthy, Russell Wilson's going to be here for the next 10 to 15 years. Hopefully. So importance to the organization, I think, is where it really truly divides and really will make the case. We've already acknowledged the fact, in my personal opinion, that Garoppolo is a question mark. Wentz is a question mark, especially with his replaceability being so high since Nick Foles won the championship for him. Mind you, Wentz murdered and killed, best quarterback, best player, probably blah blah. Andrew Luck, injury prone, he's just unreliable, unfortunately. Battle line, so there's that. So with the whole battle line thing and being injury prone, Russell Wilson is better on that end too. So you have to put Russell Wilson ahead of Andrew Luck. Not a better passer, but more reliable. But how important is it being a better passer when you're on the field 60%, 40% less than the other player? So I'll put that on that. So importance to the organization. And this is going to go beyond the whole, what does he mean to us? What has he meant for the organization as far as, bring us on the map and, putting us on the... No, it's okay, are we going to win with this guy here? Are we going to win with this guy here? Again, replaceability and importance are kind of the same thing for the most part. But I would have to say, are we going to win here with this guy or not? Do we have a chance of winning? And the thing is, Brady is the number one guy. Or Aaron Rodgers. It's either Brady or Aaron Rodgers. I'd probably say Brady because they have the most complete team. And mind you, they just went to the Super Bowl, again for the second time in a row. And 3 times in the last 4 years. And so Brady is by far the number one criteria needed to be the most valuable QB. He doesn't have years left, of course. All these young guns, these 4 young guns that are below 30, yes, I get it, but it's Tom Brady's the number one guy. And because Green Bay's okay, they're good, they're great-ish, Seahawks are good, they're great-ish, and, they got a bunch of old and young and shitty, and so they're a mess. The only team here that is not a shitty mess besides the Eagles and the Patriots is the Steelers. The Saints might have a chance. The Packers kind of might have a chance, but I don't really think that they're going to have a chance here in the next year or so. But the Patriots and the Steelers are the only 2 teams, besides the Eagles, that have a chance as far as the whole QB debate thing. Like I said, we already took Wentz out. So, unfortunately, though I hate Brady and don't like his shit, he's easily the most needed criteria to be the most valuable quarterback. He's easily the most valuable. Okay, enough of my babble, so let's finish this here.
I like Carson Wentz. That organization just won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. To me, Rodgers and Russell Wilson are the most valuable. I pay him the most in this league. And now you think I'm nuts with Garoppolo. But I got to tell you, when you look at this organization, they have a very good front seven defensively. They literally were atrocious. And then he started and they went 5-0. So the talent's there. He is clearly irreplaceable right now. He has 10, 12 years left. And I think in the organization, from his look to his talent to the Belichick.
To his look. Ugh. For some reason, I think that's just like the fact that he's in a San Francisco uniform and he's a good-looking quarterback. Ugh. Faggies. Fucking panders. Ugh. See, that's what LA does to people, I think. They just make you go, oh, this guy's hot. This chick's hot, so they must be great. Ugh.
Check connection in Silicon Valley. I think he is going to change that franchise. He is their Montana.
Ugh. All right, so yeah, you heard it. Basically, is Garoppolo is going to be their Montana. Not that he's going to be Montana. He's going to be their Montana. And nope. See, I mean, I want to save this podcast here because I would like to see what really happens in the next. Just give it a year, 2 years. Let's do 2 years. Because Wentz could have a great year like he did last year. And for some, sadly, he has a Super Bowl ring, but yet he didn't play in the latter half of the season and the playoffs and the Super Bowl, of course. So that is obviously going to be a big thing here. The Eagles are in a phenomenal position. Oh man, they have a Super Bowl MVP quarterback that was a backup that they can give away for someone who played phenomenal, who has a knee injury, unfortunately. So, they're in a spot, man. I mean, I think their spot, the Eagles' spot with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, whatever his name is, Carson Wentz. Jesus, I think they're in a pretty, they're in a screwed up spot, to be honest. Do you get rid of the guy that, won the last couple games to secure the whole home field advantage, and then do you get rid of the guy that won 2 playoff games, and not to mention played phenomenal in the NFC Championship game, and then played phenomenal in the Super Bowl? I mean, do you get rid of that guy? He's older, yes, by a couple years. But do you get rid of that guy? Or do you get rid of Carson Wentz? Or do you do this pretend notion like you can keep both of them? You can't keep both of them. The Eagles would be stupid to keep both of them. They would be morons to keep both of them. Stupid. So, that means one of them's got to go. And Nick Foles played great with the Eagles, and then fell off, and then got traded, then got back with the Eagles, and then Carson Wentz came and then had a phenomenal year. Pretty much tore his MCL or whatever it was, all the ligaments in his knees, whatever it was. And then Nick Foles came back and then just murdered. So, is this what Nick Foles is going to be when you have this type of team? But I don't know. I definitely put a lot of leniency, or a lot of importance rather, in age. But I don't think their age is that much different. I think Foles is 29? 28, 29? Wentz is 24, 25? Yeah, that's tough. Because you don't know what Wentz is going to be like in the playoffs. and what the sports media have been talking about with the Vikings quarterback and the Jaguars quarterback is that you need the right guy for the job. So, As far as the Jaguars-Patriots games, of course, the right guy for the job means, you got the Patriots being pandered by the refs yet again for the millionth time. The Patriots don't cheat. Oh, yeah, there's one time, but you guys will cheat too. Yeah, it's a great argument of refs. Or Patriots. Yeah, see, I get them confused. Ugh. Besides the freaking Lakers, who's been pandered by the officials more than the Patriots? Oof. Whew. But I digress. They're in a very tough spot, but the good thing is they can at least get something for one of those quarterbacks. The question is, what are they going to get? Yeah. What are you going to get? Yeah. But anywho, I've pretty much driven away anybody who doesn't like sports, because it's literally been 31 minutes of talking about sports, which is a horrible idea for a podcast. But hey, it beats, it beats what I usually talk about. Mostly, I guess, right? But yeah. But yeah, Tom Brady is the most valuable quarterback right now. Carson Wentz got injured. Nick Foles won them the Super Bowl. So they're in a weird spot. Russell Wilson has a garbage O-line, an old and depleting defense, but that still has promise. So he's in the wash. And the Packers are old and busted. And the Steelers have a really old, busted quarterback, but phenomenal quarterback. But who knows where they're going to go? I mean, their defense is all right. Offense is great. Phenomenal running back, but he's, it's just a mess. It's just a mess. So we'll see. So let's go into the Super Bowl predictions of 2018-2019. So I guess the 2019 Super Bowl, who's going to be in it and all that crap. First off, let's see here. Who's going to be in the playoffs next year? Well, I'm not going to do the whole if they do good and, if they do this and they do that type of thing, it's pretty much going to be like who I think. It's going to be minus the whole healthy thing and, minus the whole drafting good thing for the most part. It's obviously Patriots, New England, Jacksonville is going to be in there. Tennessee Titans, I think, is going to be in there. Los Angeles Chargers, I think, is going to be in there. I think they're going to be barely getting in there. I think they're going to replace the Buffalo Bills. And I think the Oakland Raiders are going to be in there. That's my gamble, pretty much, is the Oakland Raiders are going to be in there. The Kansas City Chiefs or the Oakland Raiders, because it's the whole last year thing. I don't know. It's tough. I want to say Kansas City because it'd be smarter, but I'm going to say the Raiders. But it's pretty much between those two. So it's New England, Pittsburgh, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Los Angeles Chargers, and Oakland Raiders are going to be in the AFC Championship, or in the whole AFC playoffs things. And the Eagles are going to be in it again. I don't think they're going to get an insane Super Bowl hangover. I think that they might be able to get a good 11-5 season. Not as good as this year, I don't think. Minnesota Vikings, I think, will be back for vengeance. I think I think them and the Los Angeles Rams are going to be the top two teams. Saints and Carolina Panthers, I think, are going to be in it. Falcons are going to be out of it, and I think Green Bay or the Seahawks will be I think those are the two teams that will be in it. So let's see: Eagles, Vikings, Rams, Saints, Panthers, and then basically the Seahawks or the Packers. Who's going to be in the NFC and AFC championship here? Well, I personally think you can never go against the Patriots because they are loved by the refs and they are loved by the media because they make them the most money. It's a fact. Don't deny it. Just like the Yankees are. Literally, when the Yankees beat the Philadelphia Phillies, the U.S. economy boosted. The U.S. economy boosted. Look it up. 2008 New York Times. When the Yankees beat the Phillies in the World Series, the U.S. economy boosted because of the Yankees win. Look it up in the papers. So I'll never go against the most popular, most money-making teams. So I'll say that the Patriots. Actually, I think maybe the Steelers and the Jaguars. I'm gonna take a risk here with the Jags. I'm gonna say it's gonna be Jacksonville and Steelers. I'm gonna say the Jaguars and the Steelers are gonna be the AFC Championship. The whole healthy thing, yes. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Pittsburgh Steelers are gonna be in the AFC Championship game. So, who's going to be in the NFC Championship game? Well, I think it's going to be the Minnesota Vikings and the Los Angeles Rams. Okay, so we've established that the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be in the AFC Championship. And the Los Angeles Rams and the Minnesota Vikings are going to be the NFC Championship. And so who's going to win those games? I think the Los Angeles Rams are going to win this game. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win the AFC. And the Los Angeles Rams, because there can never be a low market team that beats a big market team. The Seahawks and the Broncos don't count because the Broncos aren't that big. So that's my thing. Is whoever's the biggest money-making team is going to win. So if I'll give you two scenarios. If the Steelers go into the AFC Championship and it's the Los Angeles Rams, I have no idea who's going to win. I have no idea because they're both. It's Los Angeles, the most pandered, besides New York, the most pandered city and franchises and all that stuff in the world, pretty much. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is one of the most popular NFL franchises in the world. So, Steelers versus the Los Angeles Rams, I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised either or. So, I have to give you at least an answer. So, I would say, depends on the story. If they're going to do the whole, like, Big Ben's going to retire thing, Steelers are going to win all the way. But if they're going to do this whole young, proud, LA proud, douchebaggy, faggy, like jerk off to the LA, franchise and, we were deprived of a team for so long. Then I think the LA Rams are going to win. Which is hilarious because they've been dog shit for like 25 years or 20 years. And all of a sudden they're amazing now since they've been, they went to LA. It's weird, isn't it? One reason why I always question why big teams are good. So, I would say Steelers or Los Angeles Rams. Man, that's so tough. I would say the Steelers would beat the Los Angeles Rams. Barely, but they would. However, if it was Jacksonville versus LA Rams, obviously LA is going to win. However, if the fairy tale fake scenario of the Minnesota Vikings and the Jacksonville Jaguars were to go into the Super Bowl, which is never going to happen in the history of mankind because when was because I'm not too privy to the NHL, NBA, NFL. When was the last time two, low market teams went to the Super Bowl? Panthers and Broncos, Seahawks and Broncos in the 50 and 48. That's pretty much the last time. And that happened a couple years apart, and the last time that big market teams didn't go in the Super Bowls, I don't know. So let's just say, for the fairy tale sake, that the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Minnesota Vikings went to the Super Bowl, which I would watch a million times over. That's the Super Bowl I want to watch. That is the Super Bowl I want to watch. I want to watch a bunch of Vikings fans and Jaguars fans that just became fans 5 minutes ago. I just want to watch those fans experience what it feels like to be in the Super Bowl. I want to watch that. So I would say that the Jacksonville Jaguars would win the Super Bowl next year. So it's either the Steelers or the Jaguars that are going to win the Super Bowl next year. On the off chance, the NFC team that's going to win it is the Los Angeles Rams. So basically, I think 2-1 odds or whatever the whole thing is, the AFC is going to win the championship this year. It's either going to be the Steelers or the Jacksonville Jaguars, depending on who they play, of course. But yeah, it's pretty much the only way an NFC team is going to win is going to be, well, the Los Angeles Rams, unfortunately. All right, so that is my take on it all. So there you go. Yep, I'm done babbling. It's been 42 minutes of this, way too long. So I apologize for that. But yeah, that's my take. All right, don't have a good night, you cunts. Bye-bye.